Hey there, friends. Nibs again. Out here in the garage tonight, doing a little bit of goofing around, and we got a wet and rainy, raw day outside. So, what better time to come indoors and do a little bit of plinking, a couple head-to-head challenges maybe, and I think this one's going to be a lot of fun. I thought about this one. My young friend over there at GB Outdoors, he's working on a Model 100 or 101 that he bought, and I thought I would show off a couple of my Crosman pumpers. Now, one of these doesn't belong to me. I do have a similar one, but one of these belongs to Randy, who's been sending me over a lot of cool stuff to check out. But he's GB. Gabriel is working on a model 101, but we're going to be sticking with 177 calibers in this one. And I have a model 100, which is the earliest one of this group that we're going to be shooting. This is a model 100. These were made, according to Crosman, it shows 42 to 49, but other places I've seen that. So Crosman shut down their production supposedly during World War II and didn't resume until 47. So from what I've read, so that's probably, but anyway, so this is a model 100, which is 177 caliber version of the 101, which came out in like 25. And we're going to be putting that up head to head with this pretty obscure, very obscure model 147 that was sent over to me by Randy. And this one is extra obscure because it is a early first production gun. It has this spoon handle on it, which is very unusual, and it also has an aluminum receiver, which is also a first year production type of ordeal. And then it also has an aluminum plug in the end here. Now let me show you my 147, which is a little bit later production unit, not too much, but a little bit. So now here's my 147, and you see it does not have that spoon. They call it a spoon bolt handle. Just rock that little cover over. It has a steel breech now, and also the front cap is all steel. So a little different. So mine's still fairly early, but it's not as early as that one. And to top it all off, we are going to be that 147 probably dates to right around 1952, 53, somewhere in that neighborhood. So we've got late 40s, early 50s, and now we're going to have mid 60s. And this is the third one I'm going to do. And this one is a first year production, so you can tell by this square notch in the back. First year production Crosman model 760. No, and also it doesn't have any scope rails on it. And so first year, a couple years of production did not have any scope rails on it. You can tell also by these Tootsie Roll, they call these the Tootsie Roll hand grips. So this is a first version. I'll show you a second version real quick, and then we'll get rolling here. So this is a second version. Also has the Tootsie Roll. Still does not have any scope mount on the top, but they changed over to, so they had allegedly had a bunch of problems with that, the metal sticking into the wood. If it got torqued at all, it would cause a crack in the wood. So they changed it where now the wood actually protrudes into a divot in the metal and eliminated that cracking. So I'm going to be shooting all of these with some beam and wad cutter pellets, just some real budget beam and wad cutter pellets. And I'm going to put up a target for each one of them. One of these 10-meter air pistol targets. But I like these because they actually have a very small 10, very small 9, but even if you have a wayward shot, you at least don't lose all your points. So But let me stick this out there and we'll get this rolling and get started. I'll probably go from, even though I usually do the newest in the garage to the oldest one that's in the garage, or the oldest one arriving in the garage. I'm going to go with the oldest gun, and then the second oldest, and then the newest. So we'll go that way in this one. So stand by. Alrighty, so I am back, and we're going to go ahead and get started. 5 shots for each one. Maximum score of 50. So whichever one. Hopefully we don't get too well. Man, maybe it'd be nice if I got all 50s, but I doubt that's going to be the case. As GB has pointed out, these 100 series rifles have a fantastic trigger. I really am not in a stretch in my mind that these are probably one of, if not the best product that Crosman ever made. They made a lot of great guns over the years, but I think they got it right on the first try. Looks like I'm hitting just a little low there. So now this is the only one with a peep sight. So I think that kind of gives this gun a distinct advantage. Especially for me, shooting 7 yards here. No big feet here, but that's 3, right? So GB, you had mentioned in your video that you were having a little bit of trouble trying to figure out how to get the valve body apart. So there's actually 2. So let me see. I've got my tool right here. So this is started out as a 3/8 inch socket, and you've seen the tool that you can purchase. But I basically ground a 3/8 inch socket so that it had the same little teeth on there. I used a deep well because you got to go in pretty deep inside there, so you get that on a little 1/4 inch extension, and you can get in there. So there's actually 2 nuts you got to take out. You take the first one out, and then a couple of pieces come out, the hammer spring and the hammer, and then you got to reach in there again and unscrew another one that is actually holding the valve body together. So did I pump this already? All right, number 4. Oh, wow, that one flew. That was definitely not me, but that one went in funny too, so I kind of think I might have buggered up the skirt on that one a little bit. All right, looks like most of them went a little low there, but that's okay. That's not going to be a terrible score for that old timer. All right, let's move on to the 147. I got to put up a new target first, though. Stand by. All right, that's going to be a good looking score. Got that one that's out in the 6, giving these guys a little bit of wiggle room. But let's keep going. All right. Is that a 10 or a 9? I can't tell. Kind of hoping these wad cutters would punch better holes in the paper. That's a 10. Must have bumped the safety while I was I think this one can use a pump cup. I might have to throw a pump cup in this one. It's holding air really well, but after I get up in some of the higher pump numbers, I can hear air bleeding past the pump as I'm pumping it, past the pump cup. All right, so that's 3. Definitely building some good pressure though. Wow, it's like a. I think they're all landing right there in the 10. That was 4. I'm hearing it less now that I've actually been working it a little bit here now too. So. I have to review that downrange footage. I'm afraid to figure out what that one is. That's going to be a good score for that guy, though. All right. Oop, got a blank sheet of paper there. All right. Stick up this last target, and we'll get the 870 done. Stand by. I meant 760, not 870. That's going to be a good score. That's going to be tough to beat. All right. This thing is mint. Love this gun. It may not be the best shooter out of the whole group, but it's the best looking one. Definitely an awesome gun. A little to the left. So the one thing that is a problem for the 760 and for the 140 is they are what they call self-cocking mechanisms. So the more you pump it, the harder the trigger gets. Where the 101, the 100 are, you have to cock the bolt back so there's no air pressure pushing against that sear. When you pump these up, the more air pressure you build up in your chamber, the harder it is to squeeze the trigger. So 5 pumps is a real good balance between good power and a fairly light trigger. That's 2. That one go off to the left as well. I can't tell. There we go. It's 3. And 4. One more. I'm going to have to definitely review that downrange footage. So the general wisdom with these ones here, if you have one of these that's in nice shape, you don't want to hold on to the wood while you're pumping, because a lot of people think that's where you get that torque from that actually split them. So you want to have a hold of the metal when you're doing your pumping. Anyway, let me grab that target, and we'll add these guys up. And I think that 140 might have took it, but it's going to be close. Stand by. All Alrighty, I am back, and I told you it wasn't it wasn't going to be a runaway with that 140. We actually ended up with a tie, and it was very tough to figure out. So let me show you the third runner-up, which is still a respectable score, but that was the Model 100. Ended up with that 6 really hurt it, but ended up with a really respectable 41 out of a possible 50. So really good. Now the 760 actually ended up with 3 10s and 2 9s for a 48. And so just point out we had a 9 down here and then another 9 up here, which is going to play into our tiebreaker here. So the 140 also had 3 10s and 2 9s, but everything, it was a really tight group. So I went with, and it wasn't that much tighter than the 760, but it was a little bit tighter of a group, and that's how I scored it, was whichever one had the tightest group. So just by the skinniest of margins, I'm going to give this win to the 140, but that 760 shot absolutely fabulous. And if I had probably sighted the 100 in a little bit better, because every one of them was hitting low. So if I could have brought those up, that score would have been much better as well. But I took shots with all of them beforehand, and it seemed like I was really hitting pretty good with that Model 100. But there you go, the 140 sent over by Randy takes a win by the skinniest of margins. This one went a little bit longer, but I wanted to do the three-way just because I thought it would be cool to show that whole era of really cool guns from Crosman. So hope you guys liked the video. Till next time, have a great day.